Okay, so in this example, we'll just apply two quick effects to the audio file. That was pretty much all we did to it. The first of which is to apply a reduction in timing. The narrator was a little slow in his pacing, and that might make it a little bit tough for some learners to sit through. So if we just reduce that timing a little bit, it should speed up the file nicely and actually make it a little bit easier to listen to. And the second, because the voice has a lot of cracks in it, the easiest way was just to apply a small amount of reverb. The reverb is going to actually create a little fuller sound and kind of blend it together. Again, a very light layer of reverb, nothing really noticeable, but just enough, hopefully, that we kind of even out or smooth out some of the cracks. So the first thing is just to adjust the timing. And in Soundbooth, it's pretty straightforward. There's a task tab for it called Change Pitch and Timing. And I just want to reduce it about 10%. And the 10% was sort of an arbitrary number that I started with. It sounded pretty good to begin with, and that's what I stuck with. So there's 90%. Went down, you can see right here in the sample, from 19 seconds down to 17 seconds. Not a huge difference, but it does make a little enough of a difference that it moves a little bit quicker. If you're making dramatic reductions, you're going to want to start also experimenting with pitch, right? The slower it goes, the lower it's going to go. The faster you speed it up, the higher pitched it's going to get. I didn't adjust any pitch on this one. And in Soundbooth, we have the option to preserve the instrument or voice, and that's what it is. So I click OK. And it brought it down to 17 seconds. The other piece real quick before I actually move into the reverb is I noticed on this sentence right here.
Act with useful suggestions for increasing productivity in today's organization.
Okay, right, so that's one sentence, but there's a pretty good pause right in between. I want to bring that together, and there really isn't an automatic way to do this. You actually have to go in and do it manually. But I'm just going to cut out this, what is it, almost a second or half second of air time, and just so I can bring these two phrases together. So I'm just like in Word, I'm just going to click and drag to select, hit delete, and let's kind of zoom out and check that out again.
Act with useful suggestions for increasing productivity.
Boom, it just brings it right together, makes it sound like one sentence. If your recording is full of those, maybe just add an extra half a day to your development time and go through and bring those together. Let's go ahead and apply our reverb. So in Soundbooth, we just go to Effects, Advanced, and I'm going to go to Convolution Reverb, accept the default settings, go up here to Settings, and I did select Hall. There was a couple other options, but you just don't want to select a really large one. So Massive Cavern is probably not the right one. Locker Room, things like that, these really large spaces are going to be too much. So with Hall, I started off with the default settings, click play.
Increasing productivity in today's organizations.
It's very minimal. I might want to increase the room size. Let's bring room up just midway and see what that sounds like.
To the effective use of meetings. We've got to start meeting like this.
Probably a little bit too full. So somewhere on the smaller room size, if that's an option. And then, of course, keep the mix part down. Delay, very minimal delay right there. And then the gain, I just did whatever the default settings were right there. And click Apply to File. And the other final piece might be to apply a noise gate or actually a noise reduction if you have it, because you have the background noise right here.
Creatively.
Right, so that background hum. So if you have something like a capture noise print, and then you can come back over to your tasks and clean up, reduce the noise, and you use settings like that. A noise gate also would work, but just something to get rid of that background hum.